Good boom everyone, welcome back to your beloved atomic chess speedrun, the literal most aggressive variant available on chess.com. Cowards are not allowed here. And without any further ado, let's get into today's content. First game we get a beginner from Vietnam, who has been playing chess for a year but still hard stuck at 200 rated blitz. Knight f3. Normally I don't like knight f3 because people know too much about that move, but since this guy is a beginner, there shouldn't be anything to worry about. e5. That leaves the g5 square open. Knight g5. f5. Knight f0. Wait. Aha. Very tricky. This guy's baiting me to go knight f7, and then he can go queen h4 g3 queen c4 trading his queen with a ton of my pieces, which not only puts him in material advantage but also positional advantage. This guy's a lot stronger than I expected. d4 instead. Preventing his bishop from coming out, also stopping his queen from swinging horizontally after queen h4. d6. That is a slow move, therefore we don't need to rush. e4. Kaboom. That should blunder a king. Queen f3. Bishop g4. Kaboom. Okay, that was way trickier than expected. I'm sure this guy won a decent number of games with that sneaky tactic. Second game, let's go. Second game we get a decently experienced opponent. Knight f3. f6 is forced. e4. Okay, so normally I play e6 in response to e3 opening up their queen and bishop, but against e4, d5 seems to be a better move. He cannot take my d-pawn, and by threatening to capture his e-pawn, I basically have full control around the e4 square. e5. Knight h6. Threatening knight g4 attacking the trapped f2 pawn. He plays g4 himself. Knight a6. This guy defends everything. Okay, I know that bishop g4 is very strong because it wins a pawn and also avoids letting his pawn trap my bishop, but it's not very clear what I should do after f3. I'll just push this pawn for now. He takes f6. Push. This pawn is truly unstoppable. He stopped it. e5. Knight g5. That blunders a king. Queen f6. f3. Kaboom. Rook g1. Aha. Now queen h4, there is rook g3, queen f4 instead. His d-pawn is trapped. That wasn't too difficult. Third game, let's go. Aha. Third game we finally get someone that is higher rated than me. Apparently he's just created this account a few months ago and is already a 2000 rated blitz player. Heck, he even has a FIDE rating. This is way too much. I'm about to get a massive loss here. Knight f3. f6. e3. e6. So far so good. Knight d4. I'll move away from his preparation by moving a pawn twice, opening up my queen for queen h4 in case he wants knight b5. He plays h4 himself. Okay, now I don't know what to do. I guess let's just force a trade. Kaboom. I want to develop my dark bishop, but queen h5 g6 queen h6 is deadly. g6 first. Queen f3. Cannot let his queen get near my king. Queen f6. Bishop d3. Aha. So instead of trading queens with me, he wants me to capture his queen and give him a free tempo. Therefore I'll force him to do the same thing. Threatening to explode my queen for 3 pieces, now he has to take my queen. There we go. Bishop b4. Remember, we're still down a pawn. This bishop should be able to equalize the material count. c3. Kaboom. Okay, now it just looks like a draw. Knight c3. b4. Knight e4. Castle. And it seems I blundered my rook. It's fine. Still a draw though, nothing to worry about. h5 g5 d4 bishop b7 f3 knight c6. Bishop d2. Knight b4. And in this position, something unexpected happened. My opponent went AFK. Maybe FIDE gave him a call and told him not to wear jeans on his next tournament. But anyway, next game, let's go. This game is an experienced 1600 rated player, so unlike the last game I got white against a beginner. d4. c6. Not very aggressive. Knight f3. Unlike knight f3 first move, d4 c6 makes his position seems a bit too slow. Maybe I can create some quick advantage on the king side. Queen a5 check. So c6 is just to open up the way for his queen. This is not going to work. b4. Queen f5. That blunders a woman. Bishop g5. Threatening bishop takes e7, exploding his king. Moving the e-pawn doesn't help because bishop e7 traps the dark square bishop and ensures an absolute explosion. So the only way for him to defend is to put something in between to block my bishop. f6. Kaboom. d6. e4. Knight h6. He's threatening knight g4, and even though knight e5 seems winning, knight g4 bishop g4 is forcing f3, blocking my queen, and will genuinely make the game longer than I would like it to be. g4 keeping it simple. d5. Knight g5. Threatening to win his rook, and this knight cannot be exploded because he needs my g-pawn to block my own queen. Never mind. That blunders a king. Queen h5 check. g6. Queen g5. Basically a checkmate. So the original plan was to end the video here, but then I accidentally clicked on the play button again, and found an opponent faster than I could cancel it. We get a massive 2000 rated Donald Trump's fan, who has played a whopping over 10,000 games of atomic chess. 10,000 games? What the chess? I had to ask ChatGPT on how to read that number. Knight h3. Okay, this guy has played over 10,000 games and he is using a strange opening against me. f6. The only choice I have is to play as confidently as possible. d4. d5. e4. Bishop g4. f3 is forced. No need to retreat that bishop. If he takes, his knight also explodes with my bishop. Knight a6. b4. e5. a4. a4 is very weird, but it is obvious he wants to do something on the queen side, so I need to counter-attack on the king side. Knight h6 would be great, but there is knight g5 and then I cannot capture his knight as it will also explode two of my pieces. I'll remove his knight first. a5. Knight h6. He really doesn't want my knight coming closer. Center then. c4. d4. I'll push this pawn while it still can be pushed. h4. This guy is doing some sort of only pushing pawns challenge. And guess what? I will also push my pawn. Queen d2. That stopped my pawn. Knight c5. b takes c5. That blunders a queen. Bishop b4. Queen c3. Well, that queen was supposed to stop my d-pawn. d2. Basically a checkmate. Resignation. That is a strange game from someone with over 10,000 games of experience. But anyway, Atomic chess speedrun today. 500% win rate.